Hi, I'm Wo, mixing engineer. Welcome to this video. Today is a little bit different. I want to take a look in the box, in depth, in a whole mixing session. I'm gonna mix a song called Lonely One by Chase K, kindly provided by Warren Ewart and produced like a pro. He gives out stems from time to time. We can try to mix ourselves. It's a rock-ish track. It has only studio recorded material, so it's not an electronic dance music track like you're used from me, which is also a challenge for me. So come along on the journey to see how I, as an engineer, approach a certain mix, especially this genre. I think about, okay, I want to go this way, that way. How am I going to go there? That's all in this video. Small disclaimer, I'm by no means the best engineer out there for this kind of music. For me, it was really the first time delving this deep into this genre. So probably in a year or so I say, oh, that was really bad. But I took my first steps, I just dove in, tried it, and I'm actually quite happy with the results. I hope you will find this interesting, and I'd say enjoy and welcome in the box. I've made a few notes. I've not done any mixing. You can see the mixer view is completely empty. I have my console 1 fader for harmonic distortion and a quick input gain and just some volume trimming. That's it. The rest is all gonna be done right now. So I think I want to start with the drums. As far as I understand this genre, more the rock and acoustic type of music, is the drums need to be slamming. I'm not sure if I'm gonna follow through with that all the way, but I definitely want the kick to be more present and the snare to have more bottom end and creating more depth in the drums itself. I think the quickest way to achieve this is just by starting at the kick group and adding an 1176. Now that's already slamming, nice. I'm happy with this. Maybe in the channel strip and add a bit of distortion. That sounds good for me. Yes, moving on to the snares. Probably a 2A will do a good job. Moving on to the hi-hats. So we have a lot of bleed from the top. I believe I even added the top in the hi-hats, but that doesn't matter. I intended to use that as a way to bring more shine and sparkle to the drum track as a whole. So I mute this. I think I'm gonna start with some heavy compression. I'm now thinking about the relationship between the compression on the hi-hats and the snares and toms. I want it to sound even, but I don't want to smash the dynamics too much, because I know in my mixing process I compress this not as heavily, like the same with the kick and the snare. It could be way more to really slam it, but I don't do that because I know on my master drum bus I will add another compressor, an API 2500, to really glue these sounds. So I'm now going for a rough ballpark, and if I have that, it makes my life easier when I approach it as a top-down mixing. I know it's not level balanced correctly, but I like it a bit louder, especially in the sides, in the highs. It just opens things up for me. Like this has a nice groove, this has nice hi-hats, but this just adds something to the snare, and that's what I was talking about with the drums, the top drums in this hi-hat bus, which is weird, but this is exactly what I intended. Maybe a little bit of high end. Having done this, I think it's time to move on to the drum bus, starting with my go-to compressor, my big friend, API 2500. I've made another video on this YouTube channel specifically on what this thing can do and how you can use it quickly and the best way possible. I mean, you can already hear the drums are slamming way more, where clipping and the gain staging is not really good, but just how this lifts the entire drum track up, I think it's brilliant. I'm happy with this. Let's see if we can make it a bit better sounding, a bit warmer. Maybe the API is doing too much. I might come back to this later, depending on how it sounds in the entire mix. For now, the drums are good enough. Maybe a bit of EQ at a later point to bring it more in line with the instruments. Moving on to the instruments themselves. Yeah, as you can hear, this will need some work to bring to life. I'll start probably with the pads, actually, because they are filling the stereo image so much. So I just need to make them a bit louder. Probably these can do with a little sparkle in the form of Maag EQ4. If you're not familiar with the Maag EQ, it's known for its airband, which is just a really nice shine you add to your tracks. This is the paid version by Plugin Alliance. There's also a free version called Lufticus by LKGB, if I'm correctly. If you search that, or I'll put a link in the description where you can download it for free. And then if I check the ARPs, which are really nice sounding, by the way, they are buried completely. I'm gonna do two things here. I'm gonna saturate them and I'm gonna use an EQ Let's try the stock EQ first. And saturate them so they sound a bit better. Well, that's doing something. Necessarily need that. And then I want to add one more trick called the Mondo mod to bring even more movement. This is somewhat like an auto panner. It's not that, but I use it as such. If we play the entire track without anything muted,
A little lonely, so this is getting older.
to be honest, I'm already loving how this track is coming together. This is going smooth. But the first thing I heard was the acoustic guitars. They were doing something in the high end which really needs compression. I'm not necessarily getting what I'm looking for, because you don't want to squash the performance. I still want to keep the natural performance, but just make it more even. So all settings with the ratio are fine, it's just what I'm looking for. This actually works really well. Wow, okay. If I re-enable this track and pitch it down 12 octaves, transpose minus 12, let's see what we get. It's not the best. But this, in lower volume, it adds a little bit of character. And of course we can squash this one quite a bit more. Around the same settings as the other one. Let's do 8 to 1, let's see. Yeah, that's too much. I'm now looking for getting the more balanced and equal sound, in which this minus 12 pitch down guitar stem supports the other one. And I feel like around minus 45 dB threshold, I get that. And then of course this is too loud. Let's check the next section if we still have this nice balance. Yes, but no, because I did some cutting and pasting, which makes a weird sound. These are definitely gonna be louder. I love them. I'm actually gonna do this. Yeah, that comes out way cleaner now. I think the best thing to do next is check the bass. And if that's sitting right, we are We are in the home stretch. I love this guitar tone, bass guitar tone, but it needs some compression. Let's grab the stock plugin. I'm so far quite surprised with the quality of this, so thank you Steinberg for Cubase for delivering such a good stock plugins. Coming from FL Studio, this is a breath of fresh air. So what I'm looking for now is to get a real tight, even tone. So the transients need to stay prolonged and the tails need to remain with this full of energy of the low end and the bass, but without shaping the transients so much that you lose the power. Needs a bit more room to breathe. I'm not liking my settings. Definitely RMS. If you're wondering, peak and RMS, peak is really measuring the peaks. So at a single highest loudness moment, and RMS, root mean square, is just the average of the incoming signal, on which the compression is based, by the way. Yeah, parallel with bass guitars is one of the best things that ever happened. You can even hear without an EQ I added bass. The auto makeup is making it a little bit louder, so cheeky. Next, is there low end rumble? Not really, but just to be sure. And this is where my EDM background kicks in again. I want this like 30 hertz, 40, 50 hertz to be really smooth, but when you record an actual bass guitar, that's impossible. You always have something of a room, you have always something of an instrument. It's not like a sine wave generator from a serum. So I have to pay more attention to this. Usually I would just compress the shit out of it, boost it, saturate it, and done. But then you get nasty things when you do that with a real instrument. I'm actually thinking about what I can do to spice this up a little bit more. And I think I'm gonna use my console one.
Guess the party's over. The drinks are gone. Guess the party's over. Guess the party's over. The drinks are gone.
I feel it's more gnarly, more deeper in tone. And I think that's positive. Okay, moving on to my biggest enemy. This guy. I will probably do some sacrilege right now. Low passing, or high passing, I'm sorry. Now I'm just listening for the tone I want to enhance in this signal. I actually think it's two areas. The lower area because it just gives that serious tone we were setting with the bass guitar. Makes it a bit more muddy, but I don't mind. Yes, moving back to the drums, it needs a little bit more depth. And I guess an EQ is the best one for that. Just a bit more sparkle. I see the gain staging still isn't the best, but it's working for now. I think we've done enough on the instruments and the drums. It's time to take the track to the next level with the vocals. In general, these can be louder. I'm just gonna use my fader 1 here. The compression on the vocals is already really good. I see no reason to compress even more, because you can even visually see it's just all in order.
I don't wanna be the lonely one. I don't wanna be the lonely one.
Also the comping it's fine.
Ooh, I don't wanna be the lonely one.
Yes, maybe I want to make the reverbs a bit brighter, so they are better audible. I like a lot of reverb on my vocals, because they really set the vocal in the track and make it from a raw recording into really a shining end product. So maybe I feel that the vocal is a little bit too centered, not really spread out enough. So let me try something. Left 15, right 15. That sounds really effective. Now let's see which reverb am I going for. Oh, there's a far reverb. And these ones. Yeah, definitely these ones. And I'm going to do it with an EQ4. Just gives it a little bit more presence. I think the drums can use a little bit more level. I'm happy with that. In my mixing style, I now go to the master bus to get this final shine. So it's like a real combination of top-down and bottom-up mixing. Taking my big friend, the API 2500, really conservative settings. Let's check the spectrum to see what we can do more. So what I'm looking for is a certain EQ curve. And I think in this case I want to have it a tilt, like a higher low end rolling off to the high end. And in this case it's more like a huge bump and then a decrease. The decrease is good, but the bump here, it means there is not really that much definition. If we go really conservative with this EQ, feels like the rest of the instruments are getting a bit more defined, more clarified. Let me see if I can exaggerate the effect. It's mostly scooping out some mud and low mids from the guitar in combination with the bass guitar. What I would like to do here is actually add a little bit back. Maybe a low shelf will do the trick.
Just another weekend across the border, off the deep end.
Actually gonna use the EQ4 again, because I feel like with these guitars and this vocal, and especially the arpeggio that's running through, I want to have it like a more brighter floating feeling. And I think I can manage that through this. As you can hear, it's all super subtle, but it's the small changes, in my opinion, that make the biggest difference.
Across the border, off the deep end, trying to find another, shrugging shoulders,
Making sure everything is in order.
So this is getting older, each year a little colder.
Okay, quick recap. What are we looking at? Simple meters, trip peak, integrated loves. We can push it. We haven't used the limiter yet. A general frequency band, and this is the tilt I was talking about. It's from high to low, so it's actually really good. L and R. This is if things are in phase, which is exactly the same as this one. Here we have some phase issues, but overall it's good. I have, of course, a oscilloscope, I believe it's called. No, it's not an oscilloscope. It's for indicating the stereo spread. And that's one thing I was thinking the sound could open up a little bit more, like a better stereo image. And that's what I'm seeing here. So I'm gonna do something about that. So let's see if I go back to my pop filter, and instead of using only mid, I'm gonna use some side EQ. And in general, I think this was it. I'm really happy how this turned out. I suggest we listen all the way through, and maybe I have some more remarks. But I think this is, for me, the final mix. This is ready to be pushed through the limiter or pushed through some hardware. I don't know, just to give it the mastering part, not the mixing part. But yeah, let's listen.
Gone, we hung over. It doesn't seem as fun now. A little sadder, a little lonely. So this is getting older. this year's getting older. Each year a little colder. I don't wanna be the lonely one. I don't wanna be the lonely one. Ooh, I don't wanna be the lonely one. So this is getting older. Each year a little colder. More weight upon my shoulder. I don't wanna be the lonely one. I don't wanna be the lonely one.
As far as this mix goes, I can hear all instruments really clearly. I mean, it can use some more touching up, but for my first attempt at mixing this and showing you my process of thoughts, how I approach this, I am super, super happy. I hope you learned something, a little bit, a lot. Let me know down in the comments below. It was a pleasure doing this, and I look forward doing more of these sessions. If you have stems, if you want me to take a look at your project, please do let me know. You can reach me on Instagram at Weauxmusic. You can write me in the comments. You can write me an email at weauxbeats@hotmail.com. Thank you for sticking all the way through the end. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.